All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to try to make a guide here. So, with the Blue Post announcement basically saying that if you want to play a Blood Elf Paladin or a Draenei or a Dwarf Shaman in TBC, you're going to have to level during the pre-patch. People have been wanting me to make a pre-patch leveling guide for Paladin. I looked into it. It's kind of interesting, so we're just going to get right into it. So the first major change is that Spirit regeneration changes noticeably in the TBC. Making a combination of the intellect stat and your spirit stat being by far the best option for spirit regeneration. Pure spirit gear is actually quite bad. So I'll just showcase the difference. So in Classic World of Warcraft, if you had like 200 spirit, the way it would work is it would divide it by 5. And then it would add 15. So a level 1 character has like 15 spirit regeneration just like baseline. So at the low levels, you have basically a shit ton of spirit regeneration in Classic World of Warcraft, but in TBC, it's actually really bad. Rather than being plus 15, as near as I can tell on the PTR, it's like plus 5. This formula doesn't really take into account that they might have like like a hidden stealth buff to give like people some regeneration at level 1 or 2. But to put this in perspective, the way it works in TBC is it's the square root of your intellect multiplied by your spirit multiplied by this weird number over here, and then basically adding 5 to it. So for example, a fresh level 1 paladin in Classic World of Warcraft has close to 20 spirit regeneration at level 1. A combination of the plus 15 on top of whatever little spirit your starting character has. In TBC on the PTR, it's like 6.5. And if I do the math on his like intellect and spirit at like level 1, I can account for like 1.5 of that 6.5 spirit generation, which makes me think that the extra 5 is just like stealthed on there. So for example, if I had, let's say, well, let's just take this character right here. This character right here is wearing nothing but of the owl gear. Meaning that if I replaced all this gear with of the eagle gear, he would have the exact same amount of intellect. If I replaced this gear with all of the whale gear, he would have the exact same amount of spirit. You can see this right here. We've got to remove this check mark. I need a level 45 random headpiece. Okay, cool. Let's look at this thing. So you can see that the owl gear has 12 intellect, 12 spirit, and this thing would be 12 intellect, 12 stamina. If I look at the whale, it's also 12, 12, so it's basically the same stats. So this is the most intellect you can possibly get on your paladin. This is the most spirit you can possibly get on your paladin. And this is the most intellect and spirit you can possibly have on a paladin at the same time. So this is like the most mana regeneration you can possibly get in Classic World of Warcraft. In TBC. Like period, end of story. It would take this 160 intellect stat, it would square root that, then it would multiply it by the spirit stat of like 171, then it would multiply it by this weird number of 0.018654, giving you 40 mana regeneration per tick. To put this in perspective, your Classic World of Warcraft character wearing the exact same gear would be just taking the spirit stat of 171, dividing that by 5, and then adding a whopping 15 on top of that. I also forgot to add the 5 base that I think is in a TBC. So you can see that we're not even in the same planet of how good spirit or is in Classic World of Warcraft. So when you were leveling your paladin in Classic WoW, you basically had 2 options for the most efficient way to level your paladin. You could either wear stamina intellect gear, or you could wear stamina spirit gear, or you could wear a little some ratioed mix of the two, where it's like 2/3 of your gear is stamina something gear, and the remaining 1/3 of your gear is of the owl gear, aka intellect spirit gear. Those are basically your 2 options in Classic World of Warcraft. There's a third option I didn't talk about all that much that's going to become the way to go in TBC. The third option is that you wear all of the eagle gear, so that's stamina intellect gear. However, when you need to eat and drink, you swap over to an of the owl gear set. And it doesn't really matter what the heck gear you're wearing. So if that's all cloth of the owl gear, that's fine. If it's all leather, if it's a mix of leather, mail, cloth, that's perfectly fine. There's no plate mail of the owl gear in TBC for some reason. Maybe it's not even in Classic WoW. I just never noticed. But basically, just go to the auction house and make sure you have an up-to-date set of the owl gear, and then make a macro to basically swap into that of the owl gear. If you don't know how to make a gear equip macro, it's super easy. You type slash equip, hit the space bar, and then literally shift click the item, and then you hit enter again, and you do that for all your gear. And so each line is a slash equip, a new piece of gear. Literally slash equip, space bar, shift click the item, press enter, go down, you know, that whole thing. And you can literally make a macro that as soon as you're out of combat, you can swap all your gear back and forth. The reason why you do this in TBC is because you're going to have by far the most mana regeneration while in and of the owl suit. And you can basically eat and drink and recover that mana bar noticeably faster with the owl gear swap. And it really makes a difference for the... what makes Stamina Intellect gear really bad is if your water is super out of date, you get like a new rank of water to drink every like 10 levels, level 35, level 45, level 55, stuff like that. When your water is up to date, the Stamina Intellect AoE Paladin feels really, really good. But when your water is out of date, it fucking sucks ass having to drink the really shitty water. And you compensate by this in Classic World of Warcraft by having like a spirit gear that you can swap to while you're drinking. In TBC, that spirit gear ends up being of the owl gear. So you're just going to end up doing that. So you'll drink back you'll recover this, like, 3,000-ish mana bar, and then when you pop up again to go tank stuff, you switch on over to the Eagle Gear. The Eagle Gear will also have 3,100 mana, so you don't lose any mana in the gear swap, and basically away you go. That's the only gearing side of things that changes for your Paladin, is that you're going to have noticeably less spirit regeneration while you're in actual combat gear. So you cannot do the Stamina Spirit Paladin playstyle in TBC very well at all. like you just can't do it. But the Stamina Intellect AoE build is still perfectly serviceable in TBC, if not like outright broken in TBC. You just got to keep in mind that your gear swap when you're eating and drinking is going to be of the owl gear, not a spirit suit. And you're definitely going to want to do that in TBC. It'll increase your recovery time by something like a 30%. You'll recover 30% faster to jump up again and go AoE tank or AoE farm. It's also really good in dungeons. Like the other Eagle Gear can let you tank, heal dungeons, all that stuff. So it's just a solid, well-rounded build. One sec, let me cough. I had a cold recently, so I'm a little phlegmatic, which really sucks. Take a drink of water. Alright, we're good. So it's just by far the best gear. So you're going to want to have an of the Eagle suit, and then you're going to want to have a gear swap suit with a macro for an of the owl suit. When you're eating and drinking, you're in your of the owl suit. When you're going to go tank stuff, you swap over to your of the Eagle suit. Try not to screw it up. The one thing that's bad about the gear swap going of the Eagle to of the Owl is... this is probably why I didn't... No. is that your HP bar will drop by like 30%. Maybe closer to 40% or something like that. So you're going to have to put at least one Holy Light of Healing into yourself before you go attack a pack of mobs. But it's still totally worth it to be using of the Owl Gear, especially when your water is out of date. When your water is up to date, you're going to be questioning why even swap over to have the Owl Gear, and it's questionable. But when your water is out of date, you'll be like, thank fucking God I have this of the Owl suit to swap over into for mana regeneration purposes. Okay, let's talk about talents. You get consecration for free in TBC. So we don't have to put 11 points into the holy tree in order to go get consecration. That's the upside. The downside is... Damn it, man. The downside is that... your base spirit regeneration in the low levels is so bad because rather than it being plus 15 and then spirit divided by 5, it's like plus 5 and then intellect and spirit, you know, blah, 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 which is really bad at the low levels. Your mana regeneration is basically dog shit in TBC at the low levels that you can't really afford. What we normally do is we run up to a mob at the low level. We judge light into it, then we consecrate, and we go from there. Are the talents exactly the same? I think they are. We'll talk about that in a second. Classic era, no. Let's go World of Warcraft Classic. No. We don't want Classic era. We want the Anniversary Realms if we want to press play. So in Classic WoW, the whole point of getting Consecration is it's a way for us to convert our mana into damage, and we have tons of spirit regeneration at the low levels, so that's kind of the whole purpose of it. But in TBC, we don't have a lot of spirit regeneration, so I think we have to cut Okay, so I'll just show it really fast here. So what you would do is you would run up to a mob, you would hit them, you would judge damage, you would do a consecration. I'm using a really shitty mouse right now. You would reseal righteousness, and then you would literally just beat the mob to death. And you would probably be using might. But your mana regeneration would be so insanely high. Like, it's going to go 25 to, like, 55s, 30 mana per tick. That's kind of nuts. Your base mana regeneration is so high that this is basically just your rotation. Run up, judge, reseal, hit the mob again. Where the hell's the consecration? Fuck you. And yeah, just sit on your mana regeneration. You can see that our mana is going to end up being incredibly stable with the Stamina Spirit Gear in Classic World of Warcraft. So you basically never have to eat and drink. It's just right back up there and you're off to find another mob. In TBC, your mana regeneration base is so bad, I don't think you can support the rank 1 consecration at the low levels. So you're basically just going to be running up, judging your seal into the target, and then resealing, and then beating the target to death. I have no idea which seal is best, whether, I guess, yeah, you're going to be using Seal of Righteousness to do this. I'm pretty sure you can't support it. There's other weird things to talk about where, okay, we can talk about Reckoning later, but let's talk about talents here. You're going to want to wear a shield. It's difficult for me to describe. So you're going to want to be in Stamina Intellect Gear. You're not going to be using very much Spirit Gear. Instead, you're going to be relying on the Spirit buff from food. And you're going to be preferably leveling with Engineering so you can get your hands on the goggles super early. Let me just showcase this really fast. So you want some Spirit on your Paladin, but you don't want to invest too much into Spirit on your Paladin. So this Paladin at level 23 has, 37 base Spirit. And my Spirit Gear, which I'm heavily invested in, is only effectively doubling that. In TBC, it would be much better if you had a bunch of additional intellect on your Paladin. But you still want to get Spirit from some sources. So, for example, food buff over here. The food buff will give me 6 stamina and 6 Spirit. So, a combination of, like, your Engineering goggles, which you can get really early, and your Engineering goggles and your food buff and your base Spirit regeneration is probably all the Spirit you actually need. I can actually calculate this here really fast for us. Like, let's say this was a TBC character. Right now, my Spirit regeneration, if I had to guess, is probably 31 per tick, so I'm expecting this to go up to 55. Yeah, 55. So it's 31 Spirit regeneration per tick. If we pull up the calculator, We'll actually do the math on that. This is 82 divided by 5 equals plus 15 equals. And you can see that we're very close to the 31, 32. It'll fluctuate between 31 and 32 mana regeneration due to the 0.4. In TBC, what would change with this gearing is, let me think, 7, 6... I have some intellect around here. I don't know why. Ooh, we got intellect on boots. That's interesting. Okay, so I have a mix of intellect and spirit. Oh, yeah, you're supposed to have a mix of intellect and spirit at these low levels because your base mana regeneration is so high. I remember now. Okay, so anyways. What is that? 13. No enchant on bracers of spirit. So something like 13 of this spirit stat here, of this plus 45, will end up going to intellect. So I got to go 45 minus 13 equals 32. I would end up adding 32 to this intellect stat, so it would be plus 53. Where's the calculator? Okay, cool. Oh, I just take the white one and I add 13 to it, don't I? Right. So my spirit from the goggles and from the food buff would add 13 spirit to this 37, which would make it 50. So I would have 50 spirit and 85 intellect. So the 85 intellect would be square rooted, and then I would have to multiply that by 50 for the spirit, and then I would have to multiply it by that stupid ass 0.018564, which gives me, and then I would add 5 to that, a whopping 13.6 mana regeneration in the current gear. Now that mana regeneration is way higher than if I didn't have the stamina intellect gear. I'm trying to show you how bad your mana regeneration is. The theme here is that your mana regeneration is both horrific in TBC until at the low levels, until you can actually start getting the gear. You saw that level 40 character, right? He was at 45 spirit regeneration in all that of the owl gear compared to the whale gear classic World of Warcraft Paladin that had 55. Your spirit regeneration at the low levels is absolute dog shit, but in a fascinating twist, it's so bad that you can't ignore it, which is really weird. So you would think that your spirit regeneration is so bad that investing in trying to get any additional spirit regeneration is not worth it. But if you don't do it, your spirit regeneration is going to be so bad that it's just. Anyways, let me calculate the base spirit regeneration if I was like in strength gear with a food buff, for example. So I would have, okay, so what would happen here is I would have 34 intellect square rooted multiplied by the 50 spirit equals, and then multiply that by 0.018 and then I would add 5 to that. Right, so if I was in strength gear, I would have 10 mana regeneration per 2-second tick. If I'm in intellect gear, I would have like, what was that, like 16.5 mana per tick. It's really fucking bad. I'm pretty goddamn sure you're not going to be able to support consecration on your build. But you're still totally going to want to wear a shield. So the major thing that changes in TBC is you're going to be wearing stamina gear, but even, I mean, my bad, intellect gear, but even with the intellect gear, you're still going to want to not ignore your spirit. At the low levels, your mana regeneration and everything is just so fucking bad on your paladin that your gear choices really don't matter. What really matters at the super low levels is just getting in a set of green gear. You really don't care what the stats are. All you really care about is the armor. Armor is your best stat prior to like level 20, and it's only past level 20 that we actually need to start thinking about the actual value of these stats. I'm going to explain why. Okay, so the other things on the list are you're going to want to wear a shield. You're going to want to wear a shield. You're going to want to wear a shield. And I'm going to show you why you're going to want to wear a shield. You're not going to want to use Consecration because our Spirit Regeneration is so bad, we literally cannot afford it right now. Our Spirit Regeneration is half of what this Paladin is, right? It's just terrible. But if we cut Consecration out of the rotation, we can maintain an almost constant uptime with the enemy. So while I talk about why a shield is so important, I'm going to go over here and let this mob basically try to kill me, and you can see for yourself just how insanely long this is going to take. No, we don't want to fight two. I don't even have 5 out of 5 readout on this character yet. We only got 3 points in readout, which would be different in TBC. Okay, cool. Let's heal to full. And while I talk about this, so let's talk about why you want to wear a shield. So the main reason why you want to wear a shield while you're leveling is because it's like the only really good source of mana regeneration available to you. I've done the math on it at these low levels. Your shield at this Paladin's level, this shield on her is worth about 8 MP5. Once you factor in not having to heal yourself as often, mathematically it's worth like 5 MP5, but the fact that you don't have to stop and heal yourself anywhere near as much, the fact that you're not interrupting your MP5 when you're having to stop and heal yourself is just worth an insane amount of value. So the sheer act of putting on the shield, its armor alone is worth 8 MP5. Then from there, your 5 out of 5 readout is worth like another 7-ish MP5 in the grand scheme of things. This is at these low levels. So the sheer act of putting on a shield for this low-level Paladin is worth like 15 MP5. You'll notice that my Blessing of Wisdom is only 10 MP5. And it takes basically forever for the mobs to kill you. Hopefully, as you're seeing here right now. I gotta think about healing myself here in a hot second. Yeah, we'll just start healing now. My classic WoW brain kicked in there. I mean, my hardcore brain kicked in there. It's like, nope. 30% life and we're healing. Then there's the rules. What am I trying to say here? If we convert that mana into DPS and you had like a shield spike on your shield, even though maybe putting a spirit enchant on your shield might be better, but honestly, just put an iron spike on your shield and you're probably good. Your shield is worth about 4.5 DPS. The 15 mana per 5 is worth about 3 DPS on your Paladin, and the shield spike is worth about 1.5 DPS. So the sheer act of putting on a shield is worth about 4.5 DPS. If I compare this to like this two-handed weapon over here, this two-handed weapon compared to the one-handed weapon, this is 16.7. Fuck off. No. We don't want ads. We got to talk about the different. We got to opportunity cost this against a two-handed weapon. It's going to be a little bit windy, but I got to explain it here for a second. So, moral of the story is our base spirit regeneration is so fucking bad. Our mana regeneration is so bad in TBC that it suddenly starts warranting wearing a shield far more. In classic World of Warcraft while leveling, I would usually tell you, use a two-handed weapon, wear stamina Str Gear. In TBC, your regeneration is so bad, and the fact that we get 5 out of 5 readout so early, it suddenly becomes far more valuable for you to just put a damn shield on. Readout versus one mob is worth something like 15% block chance. I've done the math. And then your base 5% block chance is basically you have a 20% block chance. You start doing the math on that, and all that block value is worth like 7 MP5. The armor from the shield is worth like 8 MP5. Altogether, it's worth like plus 15 MP5, and that at least does something to really help compensate for the fact that your base spirit regeneration is terrible. Okay, so what I want to showcase you right now is the difference between one-handed and two-handed weapons. I talked about this in the Shaman video, but we'll talk about this in the Paladin video. So what happens to your Paladin when you go from a one-handed weapon to a two-handed weapon is that you gain about a 20% DPS increase. And I'm going to showcase this in no uncertain terms. So my damage right now, what do you mean not ranged attack? Okay. Damage, there we go. Take a drink of water. Where the hell's my water bottle? Okay. Take a drink of water. Yeah. So my damage per second right now is 27.76. A lot of this damage is actually going to come, is not from the weapon, it's not from my attack power. So you can see here I have strength. I got, what is this, 52 strength? Okay, 52 times 2 equals, you can see that I have 153 attack power, but my strength is only accounting for 104 of that, which means at current level I have 50 attack power from fucking nowhere. And this continues all the way up until you're like level 70. You just get stats for leveling just out of nowhere, okay? Then your weapon is, okay, so current DPS, that'll become important later when we talk about strength gear. Current DPS is 27.6. I'm going to make a prediction 27.6. I'm going to multiply that by 20%, and I'm going to predict that when I put on this Gargoyle's Bite, my DPS is going to be somewhere around 33. So we put on the Gargoyle's Bite, and it went up by it went up to 30. That's not even a 20% DPS increase. Go back to the one-hander. Okay. Ooh, does the shield? Yes, the shield has got some strength on it. Yeah. Okay. It's 27.6. Okay. Cool. To 30. It was like 30 something, right? 27.6 times 1. Let's do an 18%. Nope, it's not even that. Jesus, is it a 15% DPS increase? That is so bad. 27.6 times 1.15. Damn, it's not even 15%. What the fuck? 27.6 times 15.5? What? Let's try 1.12. God, is it 10? 27 0.6 times 1.1. God damn it, man. Okay, so going from this one-handed blue weapon to this almost equal level two-handed weapon is a 10% fucking DPS increase. It's basically nothing. Right. Is that worth giving up 15 MP5? The answer is hell, fuck, and no. Literally, the amount of DPS we went up is like 3. We literally gained 3 DPS putting on that two-handed weapon, whereas the shield with a shield spike would be a 4.5. The shield without a shield spike would be 3 DPS. So you're doing virtually the exact same amount of DPS whether you're using a two-handed weapon or a one-handed weapon, and that's before we factor in the downtime. When you're wearing a shield, you're never going to have to eat and drink almost ever. Whereas if I'm wielding a two-handed weapon, I'm going to have to stop and eat and drink in TBC every like 4 or 5 mob kills. And that downtime is absolutely terrible. So for example, my options are like 30 DPS with like a 20% downtime. So I'd have to multiply this by 0.8. So I would do 24 DPS. Versus this 27.6 DPS and like no downtime whatsoever. And that downtime also includes your seal damage is reduced by 20%, your judgment damage is reduced by 20%. Your goal as a paladin while leveling is to find an equilibrium to where you're just going from mob to mob to mob to mob to mob. Applying your judgment damage, applying your seal damage, applying your auto attack damage. Like just forever, no downtime, going from killing one mob to another mob, to another mob, to another mob. Basically, it didn't even include Blessing of Might. Jesus Christ. You want to have no downtime whatsoever. If you factor in downtime, like having to stop and eating to drink while trying to kill mobs for a paladin, one-handed weapon and a shield is usually far better than two-handed weapon and a shield. The only reason you would ever go two-hander over one-hander is if your mana regeneration is so high with the two-hander that putting on a shield basically doesn't do anything for you. It doesn't increase your mana regeneration whatsoever. It doesn't help you get consecrations out or anything like that. At that point, you would wear a two-handed weapon. So in TBC, I'm pretty convinced that even though we're going to get consecrate, we cannot support it mana regeneration wise. And you don't want to wear a two-handed weapon because of how much value you're going to be getting out of your shield from a mana regeneration perspective. And the shield is just going to let you go from mob to mob to mob to mob to mob, never having to stop and eat and drink. And the fact that you're never having to stop and eat and drink is going to be worth way more DPS increase on your paladin than using a two-handed weapon and being like, well, I can kill 5 mobs before I have to eat and drink. The fact that you have to sit down and eat and drink is super fucking bad. It's not worth that, 10% DPS increase. The other elephant in the room is the strength gear. At these low levels, strength gear is not the worst idea in the world. So we can calculate this really quick. So, I think what would happen is this plus 39 and this plus 19 would all be strength gear. So let's pull up a calculator here. Strength gear would all be strength gear? Yeah. So we would have 19 plus 39 equals minus 7 equals, because your helm doesn't have strength. So rather than, if I recall correctly, our base mana regeneration is 10 per tick in this current, fuck, what am I trying to say? If I was wearing all strength gear, my mana regeneration at current level is 10 per 2-second tick. If I was wearing of the Eagle gear, it would be 16.5 mana regeneration per tick. So a 60% increase in mana regeneration per tick. But, nothing increased by nothing is still nothing. This would be how much strength we would have on the gear if we were wearing all strength gear. So our spirit regeneration per tick would be 10. And I would have to take this number of strength and divide it by 7 to give us how much DPS we'd have. So we would have 7 more DPS than normal at the expense of... What the fuck is the percentage DPS increase here? Blessing of Might. I don't know if we want to use Blessing of Might or Blessing of Wisdom. Let's assume Blessing of Wisdom at these super low levels. I want 3 calculators. What the hell are we doing here? Okay, whatever. You're being stupid. I remember that was like 7.3 or some shit like that. And normal, our DPS is like 27. So 27.6 plus 27.6 equals 34. I think if I recall correctly, that was the like 15% DPS increase. No, it's going to be like 20% DPS increase. 27.6. I'm pretty sure it's 25. I mean, when you put on strength gear, it usually increases your DPS by somewhere around 25%. Okay, cool. So going from a one-hander to a two-hander is increasing our DPS by 10%, except when we factor in the value of a shield, we're not increasing our DPS whatsoever, and the shield is totally worth it. If we wore strength gear, we would gain a 25% increase in DPS, but we would be regenerating 10 mana per 2 seconds rather than 6.5 mana per 2 seconds. Either option is perfectly fine. The stamina intellect gear, you're going to feel much better taking that into tanking dungeons, healing dungeons. So if you have stamina intellect gear, questing is perfectly fine. Tanking and healing dungeons is perfectly fine. It's just the best suit, period. But if you're just grinding your way to victory and you're leveling out in the open world, the strength gear at these lower levels is probably going to be better. That will change as you get into the higher levels due to stamina intellect gear being worth more and more and more. So you can kind of throw on whatever gear you want on your paladin. Strength is a good stat. Intellect is a good stat. Spirit is kind of meh. But you're going to want to pick one or the other. Either you wear stamina intellect gear and you're a very well-rounded paladin, or you wear the strength gear. In either fucking case, you're going to want to wear a shield. I don't see how we're getting around that in classic world in TBC. Let's talk about talents. Take a drink of water here. The first thing you want to do is you're going to want to get readout. At these lower levels, you're going to be wearing a shield anyways. Readout increases the block chance of your shield effectively by like 15%, somewhere around there. Super worth it. Readout alone, or having the block value on your shield alone with 5 out of 5 readout is worth 7 MP5 at these super low levels. The mobs scale up and up and up as time goes on, so this is only worth more and more and more as time goes on. The next thing that you're going to want on your paladin is to get the 3% hit. It's your second biggest DPS increase besides armor is going to be precision. Next, you're going to want to put 2 points in Guardian's favor because you do have that consecration. Once you get 2 points into Guardian's favor, it's not the you're perfectly. If you're wearing the stamina intellect gear, it becomes perfectly viable for you to do open world AoE farming. You pull like 3 or 4 mobs at a time, and you just use a combination of Blessing of Protection to heal yourself and a Bubble to heal yourself. You can't really do any AoE farming worth a damn without having Blessing of Protection or Bubble off a cooldown. Blessing of Protection at these low levels doesn't last very long, but I mean, you've got Consecration. You're going to figure out that it's going to be perfectly fine. So this makes AoE farming suddenly viable. The next 3 talent points you're going to want to put in is in the Righteous Fury. The minus 6% increasing damage reduction is totally worth it. Then you're going to want to put 5 points in Toughness. And this is where we have to have a conversation. You might think Shield Special... Okay, that's not even true. Shield Specialization and Toughness. At the lower level, it really depends on your block value. What the hell is wrong with this? So your strength on your paladin is going to increase your block value at these low levels by like, I don't know, like 5 or something like that. The block value of this shield is like 11. I can go over here and get punched. I might actually, no, I don't have any talents. Let's see if we can actually see what the block value is on this character. Once it procs, it should tell us immediately. At the low levels, when you do not have Reckoning, getting 3 out of 3 shield specialization. Where the hell's my talent calculator? Getting 3 out of 3 shield specialization is completely worth it. But once you have Reckoning, it's not worth it anymore, because if you fully block an incoming attack, if you block an incoming attack and you take no damage whatsoever, it does not have a chance to proc Reckoning. But if you block an attack and take at least 1 point of damage, it suddenly has a chance to proc Reckoning. This, I cannot stress enough how big of a fucking deal this is. So, Jesus, why the fuck can't I block anything? Thank you, 12 block. So all this strength is doing is increasing my block by 1. Congratulations, it's literally doing nothing for you. So putting 3 points in shield specialization and then putting your 2 remaining points into toughness while you don't have Reckoning is completely worth it. But by the time you have Reckoning, you need to be very, very careful that you're not doing so much about what your block value is, because if you're blocking all the incoming damage, you are cucking your DPS 6 ways from Sunday. Which is why I have it as 5 points in toughness. So what I would do while I was actually leveling... Okay. Let's make sure here. Where the hell are the extra points? Oh, they're still in Reckoning. I want the points out of Reckoning. Okay, it's still over here. Fuck you. Just reset this shit. So the first thing I would do is I would get 5 out of 5 readout. That's going to be like level 15. Then I'm going to put 3 points in precision, and thank God for that, because otherwise I have a 5% miss chance. If you're human, you can probably get away with maybe not putting points into precision, but just fucking do it. You're not going to be human, you're going to be blood elf, right? So what are we even talking about here? Then you're going to put 2 points in Guardian's favor. This opens up area of effect leveling options, helps keep you alive if you're being stupid and whatnot. The next 3 talent points go into shield specialization, because you saw how bad the block value on our Paladin was. Tired of looking at that. Then you're gonna put then you're gonna put the 3 points into improved righteous fury. Gonna get more mileage out of that, more than any other factor. Don't know how I feel about putting a point into kings. I mean, more stamina and more spirit is good for mana regeneration. More strength is really good. Your MP5 or your Blessing of Might are probably just going to be as good. It's not worth the talent point. Then you put points into toughness until it unlocks Reckoning. You're going to ignore Blessing of Sanctuary because of how good 5 out of 5 Reckoning is. But at this point, you have to respec because you're starting to put points into Reckoning. And your respec is going to be like, 5 points in toughness, 3 points over here. You don't want to put a point in anticipation. Where's the spirit point go? Damn, man. Probably put it into Hammer of Justice. It'll help you with enemy spellcasters. And then you get 5 points in Reckoning. And you want to be very mindful that you're not doing 100% damage mitigation on your blocks, because if you are, it won't proc Reckoning anymore, and that'll screw up your DPS 6 ways from Sunday. Reckoning is fucking broken in TBC. It is by far your best ability for leveling. Nothing will increase your DPS while leveling more than having 5 out of 5 Reckoning. Absolutely fucking insane. What level are we here? I think I'm level 35 at this point. Anyways, your next point goes into Blessing of Sanctuary, because you are still going to be wanting to wear a shield, even though you could theoretically do two-handed tanking with Reckoning. The problem is two-handed tanking, two-handed AoE fight, like you're fighting 2 mobs at a time with 5 out of 5 Reckoning. You don't want to do that until you have plate mail gear, and your spirit regeneration stat is still probably so balls that you probably are just better off going Blessing of Sanctuary. But again, you got to be really careful, right? Because Blessing of Sanctuary is going to reduce the amount of damage that you're taking. You got a lot of you're going to be getting into plate mail eventually. You got to make sure that your block, you're still taking damage while blocking, right? To help proc Reckoning. From here, you're going to want to get into Sacred Duty. Maybe put a couple points into the one-handed weapon specialization. It does increase all your damage. But you're going to want to come all the way down to getting Holy Shield, and then the next 2 points are going to go into improved Holy Shield. The reason for this is because this is all you need to bring your AoE tanking online. All you need to have your AoE tanking online in TBC is to have Holy Shield, at least 6 charges in Holy Shield, preferably 8 charges in Holy Shield. And at that point, a combination of Sacred Duty, reducing the cooldown in your bubble, and your bop being only 3 minutes, you do not need healing in combat to AoE tank in TBC. The Holy Shield alone with 8 charges, on top of having a bubble and a bop active for AoE farming, you're going to be AoE farming like a complete fucking monster. Your Reckoning is absolutely fucking insane while leveling. Let's log out here. We can try to showcase this. See if I'm missing anything from my notes. We talked about how downtime is really bad. We talked about wear a shield, wear a damn fucking shield. And right now we're talking about how insane Reckoning is, and how you're going to want to wear Stamina Intellect gear while swapping to of the Owl gear. But we need to go showcase just how insanely good. I guess I quit, yeah, and then I go over here, and then we go to the era. So we go classic while era and press play. Oh, I'm really tired. I'm still a little sick. That's why I'm all coughing all over the place here. Ooh, can I even copy that character? Can I copy Test Pally? Let's try to copy Test Pally and see what happens. No. I want to try to copy a character. We want to try to copy Test Pally. It's not going to let me, is it? It's only going to let me copy like one character, and that's it. You suck. So I guess I'm stuck with my level 60 in Outland. The PTR is incredibly buggy. Just is what it is. I'm going to go over to... I wanted to show that... I wanted to prove to you guys that if you have 100% damage mitigation on your block, it won't proc Reckoning. But you can do a Google search and it'll tell you just as much in TBC. So we're going to switch over to the proper Paladin AoE taking build, which does not have 3 points in shield specialization. That way I'm actually taking enough damage that I'm not like overly blocking. I think my shield is still a little too good. So if I come over here and I look at my shield block value in this gear, defense. Yeah, my block value is 80 fucking 4. Which means I actually have too much block value on this character with my Argent Defender shield while being out here in Outland. It would be much better if I had a shield that didn't have this much block, which kind of sucks. So we're going to use this really shitty shield here for a hot second. And we're going to ignore how much damage we're taking from the mobs. That's not really what we're trying to showcase right now. I'm trying to showcase to you guys just how insane Reckoning is. So I'm going to be wearing a shield that actually lets me have... yeah, okay, come here. Okay, cool. We're going to pull 3 mobs. Hopefully we pulled 3 mobs. Hopefully we pulled 3 mobs. Okay, cool. Get my seal up. I'm going to put on Blessing of Sanctuary here. So we're not interested in how much damage we're taking. What we're primarily interested in at the moment is just how insanely good Reckoning is. So we have 3 mobs in us. We're going to be tab targeting between the mobs. Okay, there goes the Reckoning. So I got to tab to a different mob. We're keeping our Holy Shield up. That guy's almost dead. Reckoning just doesn't give a fuck. The block is keeping us alive. Why can't I Holy Shield? I don't understand. We're actually getting very unlucky on our Reckoning charges, which is really pissing me off. Like, why? Okay, there's the Reckoning charge. Let's put down a Consecration. Oh, man, there's another one here? Jesus. All right, where's my real shield? Should be fine. Man, did I not have any mana when I started this fight? Like, what's going on? Huh. Weird. Alright, cool. So, we got super unlucky in our Reckoning procs there. I mean, it's 10% chance every time they hit you. But we do have, like, a bunch of parry haste and stuff, so maybe that's just a thing. So, as you can see, we got our asses handed to us. And we got our asses handed to us because we're not wearing a good shield here. Let me recover to full mana and full life, and we'll show you proper tanking. Just know that I'm fucking up this shield technically because if we look at the combat log here, you can see that the amount of damage we're taking per attack, that's a bunch of blocks, is like 50. So we have way too much fucking block on this character. It makes me really fucking sad. I'll have to make sure I'm getting myself a different shield while I'm going into Outland. That's for damn sure. Is everything ready to rock and roll? Are we good to go? We're good to go. Okay, so let's show what it looks like with an actual fucking shield. We're still in rank 1 Consecration, which really sucks. They haven't actually fixed Consecration. God damn it, every time I hover over that UI. We need to kill this guy first. Keep our shield block up. So, we're stuck using rank 1... Fuck off. We're stuck using rank 1 Consecration. I pulled so many mobs, I just want to kill some of them. Yeah. So we're not even tab targeting. We're just fucking murdering some of them. Okay, cool. He's dead. Get out of the consecration. Make sure our holy shield is up here. But we're gonna have low reckoning up proc time because all these blocks are basically 100% block chance, which is, or 100% mitigation, which is really bad. So I need to focus up here for a hot second and make sure I don't die. Are we actually attacking this guy? Or is that something we're actually doing? All right, I forgot. It's I'm using a really shitty mouse. My Razer Naga is half dead. I gotta do some. I gotta take a hairdryer to it and open up the back of it and clean it out. The middle mouse button is like getting stuck on stuff. Okay, I think we're in tab target mode. Thank you for your laggy server, Blizzard. That's very nice of you. Okay, press the shield. Everything is fine. But yeah, if I was wearing a right shield, I'd be like constantly flooded with reckoning charges. And the question at that point becomes, what's the question become? I think it's best just to use a damage seal and murder motherfuckers. I don't think it's all that good if I'm using like Judgment of Light, Seal of Light. But while you're leveling, putting Reckoning with Judgment of Light and Seal of Light is probably like really going to be really fucking good. I can try Judgment of Light and Seal of Light and just see what happens. We can throw on a Hikari Manslayer here and see what the hell happens. I just wish I had a better shield. So I'm out here in Outland like, yeah, I'm such a Chad, and then my shield just doesn't proc Reckoning, and I'm like, fuck. So, kind of shit. What else is there to say? But anyways, as you notice, I didn't need... Yeah, since we're waiting for the respawns here, I need to go find fucking Judgment of Light. Okay, come here. Judgment of Light. Seal of Light. Rank 1. Seal of Light, rank 4. Okay, cool. So we should have Seal of Light, Judgment of Light. So you'll notice in all of that... Oh, I can go get my dick hit, and you can see that the blocks will not proc Reckoning. If I go to combat log what happened to me, and if I scroll up, you'll notice that there's no block here whatsoever. The reason why there's no block whatsoever is because your combat log does not record blocks that you didn't take damage on. So every time you're seeing a block and it's not telling you that you took damage in the combat text, like it was doing before, that's a block that could not proc Reckoning. When you see that in your floating combat text, you should want to cringe. You should just straight up fucking want to cringe. Alright, so let's go over here. Let's piss off these two mobs. Let's make sure that we are Gucci. And you'll see Reckoning proc, but it'll never proc from a block, like ever. I'm going to try Judgment of Light and Seal of Light. I don't think it'll do anything here. Where the hell's my Judgment these days? Jesus Christ. Alright, Judgment of Light, Seal of Light with Reckoning. Like, I'm pretty sure going Seal of Command and just killing your enemies is better. I mean, these heals are great and all, but, I mean, Jesus. I'm just not seeing it. Okay, Judge, Seal. Should have plenty of Reckoning charges, despite the fact that we're kind of cucked with this little shield here. Is the health regeneration worth it? Probably. In theory, you're regenerating mana, but I'm going to tell you right now, if I'm just using rank 1 Seal of Command, that's another thing you got to talk about, is you'll notice I'm not judging when I'm doing any of these AoE pulls. Like, that's not a thing I'm doing. Oh, I'm not using Holy Shield, my bad. I'm not judging, and the reason why I'm not judging is because it's just a waste of mana. Like, literally just use... Your Spirit regeneration is so bad. What the fuck is going on? Your Spirit regeneration is so bad in TBC that any little thing you can do to help your mana regeneration is... And just keep your uptime as a Paladin is just super fucking worth it. Is that guy... Okay, so it's a mage. Why would I... Oh, he's doing a quest, probably. Yeah, okay. So I'm not wasting mana on Judgment. Why can't I? I'm in combat because that guy's a dick fuck. Got it. I'm not wasting mana on Judgment. I'm not wasting mana on using a high rank seal. Seal of Command is incredibly mana efficient and will give you by far your best return on investment. Basically, once you come down here and you get your 8 charges of Holy Shield, the next thing you do is you basically just go into the ret tree. You're specifically after Deflection, Parry Haste. You gain like the plus 40 per... Parry Haste on average is worth about a 20% haste increase. So getting Deflection is bad for your Reckoning procs, but it's really good for your survivability, your mana efficiency, and it's not like it's not increasing your attack speed in the grand scheme of things. Also, when you pull a bunch of mobs, there's a bunch of overlapping Reckoning procs. You know, if I wasn't a fucking retard with my shield. So getting a little bit of deflection isn't the worst idea in the world. It's a source of increasing your attack speed of your weapon, effectively, from Parry Haste. That helps counter a bunch of Reckoning charges overlapping. But Reckoning charges overlapping is like a first world problem. So anyways, I would suggest getting Parry Haste. There's nothing else for you here, like literally nothing else. You're going to get Pursuit of Justice. That'll super help you while you're leveling in the world, being fast as fuck, boy. But really what you want to get is Rank 1 Seal of Command. Rank 1 Seal of Command makes you noticeably more mana efficient because it's only like 65 mana, or 55 mana, yeah, due to Benediction. It's only 55 mana. I forget, what did I want to do? I wanted to pull a bunch of mobs and show something, right? I was waiting for the mobs to show something, but I can't remember what it was. Oh, yeah, Seal of Light compared to Seal of Command. God, this is going to be so bad. All right, whatever. We'll give it a try. So we'll do what we can to pull a bunch of mobs here. All right, we're going to have to use consecration to keep them in combat. Where is it at? There it is. Okay, let's target this dick fuck. Okay, cool. Judge, Seal, Holy Shield, and we're going to try to chill like a villain. Oh, I didn't judge. You didn't judge light. Oh, because that's my judge is 4. Right, okay, let's pick this guy, judge light into him, reseal again. The primary dilemma that you're noticing here is it's like, yeah, it's really good for the healing. The problem is that I become entirely reliant upon consecration for damage, and I'm not actually killing anything. I want to judge, reseal light. Okay, cool. So the problem with what is happening here, and let's just assume that we have like forever uptime on seal of forever uptime. I can't fight and talk at the same time. Let me finish this fight. I'm sick and fucking tired of this stupid fucking Judgment of Light, Seal of Light thing. Let me just do what I'm supposed to do. Oh, I'm using the wrong weapon too. I'm using the Manslayer. Ugh, okay. Manslayer's not bad, honestly. Do what we need to do. Tab over, tab over. Just beat the shit out of everybody. Tab over. Can I use that ability? Tab over. Okay, cool. Again, if these blocks could proc Reckoning, man. Jesus Christ. Oh, I got no command anymore. Do. Alright. Yeah, that was terrible. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I fucking hate it. Okay. Are we good? Okay, cool. Alright, so I couldn't talk there, but let's just talk about this for a second. So, let me hit the drink button. Jesus. If I use double Judgment of Light to pull a pack of mobs, not only is Reckoning going to murder that mob rather quickly, like alarmingly so, to the point where I'm starting to have to, like, reseal and judge and spend a bunch of mana on that, interrupt my spirit regeneration, like what little spirit regeneration you have on your Paladin. On top of that, my only source of killing this pack of mobs at that point becomes Consecration. And Consecration is so mana inefficient for killing a pack of mobs that you don't really want to do it. On top of the fact that pushing the button of mana regeneration is interrupting your spirit regeneration. So, for example, Holy Shield, fuck off. Holy Shield is long enough at a 10-second cooldown that you basically get like 2 mana ticks. You'll get one at the 7-second mark and one at the 9-second second mark. And then if you're a little slow on your Holy Shield, which is advised that you be, you can get out a third spirit regeneration tick at the 11-second mark. But if you're spamming this thing on cooldown, you'll still get 2 spirit regeneration ticks. If you're spamming Holy Shield and Consecration, however, you're not going to get any spirit ticks whatsoever. That's kind of a big deal because despite my gear being complete shit, it's not like okay, that's MP5. That's still in. Fuck off. MP5. So I'm not really sure what my spirit regeneration is right now. I guess I would have to do the math. Stats, calculator. Fuck you, because I can't tell the difference between my MP5 on my gear and my spirit regeneration right now. So we have 113 spirit and 220 intellect. So the 230 intellect would be square rooted. Multiply that by the 113. In theory, I would have a food buff right now. Food buff would add 12, so that would be 25. Okay, so we'll multiply that by 25. I might also want different enchants. Like this is PvP gear, so I have I am leveling on a PvP server, so maybe I will take the 9 stamina enchant. But you could very easily have spirit enchants on your gear to help pump this up. Let's say you do have spirit enchants on your gear. This is going to be close to 2,000. We multiply that by 0.018654 equals, then we add 5 to that. So my spirit regeneration in this gear, this Marshall's gear, is still like 42 per tick. So if I multiply that by 3, I'm getting like 127 mana back from spirit regeneration alone, if the only thing that I'm doing is using Holy Shield. Like, how much mana was that again? Like 100, yeah. So I'm using almost no mana whatsoever. I'm trying to say that the spirit regeneration is worth it. And to have to rely on Consecration to kill all your mobs and heal yourself from Judgment of Light, it's just not worth it whatsoever. I'll do one more big pull properly, and I'll actually focus this time. Oh, we can't because he killed all those over there. All right, we'll have to wait for a hot second before we can do a big pull. But the moral of the story is, once you get Holy Shield 8 charges, and once you have 5 out of 5 Reckoning, and even before you have Holy Shield, once you just basically have 5 out of 5 Reckoning, you're not going to have Seal of Command. Fuck, what am I trying to say here? If you're pulling with Judgment of Wisdom, and or Double Judgment of Wisdom or Double Judgment of Light, and your master plan is, I'm going to kill everything with Consecration, there's going to be a time and a place for that. Like I can see that. I can see you being like level 30, like level 40. You don't have 8 charges of Holy Shield yet. You're like somewhere between level 35 and level 40. You have 5 out of 5 Reckoning, but you don't have Holy Shield available to you. I can totally see you using Double Judgment of Wisdom and just consecrating your enemies to death. But once you get 8 charges of Holy Shield, you want to just not try to kill things with Consecration. It's basically a waste of mana, and you're going to have, like, way more downtime. Fuck. Okay. Thank you. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a downtime issue. You can very easily pull something like 4 or 5 packs of mobs, and with your 8 charges of Holy Shield, you basically don't need Consecration anymore. and you don't need double Judgment of Light anymore. Seal of Command or Seal of Righteousness and just beating your enemies to death is it's just more, it's more mana efficient is the best way to describe it. It's like, yeah, you'll kill them faster if you're using Consecration and doing like the tab targeting with, you know, blah 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 blah, but you're not getting any spirit regeneration. It's not like you don't have the stats for the spirit regeneration, and then you have to sit and eat and drink a bunch. It's like, I'm not sure it's better. Literally not sure it's better. Fuck off. Let's see if we can do another big pull here. We took forever to kill those mobs, so their respawn is going to be staggered, like annoyingly so. Let's go kill this mob here. Not that big of a deal. Go loot this one. Make sure everything is set up again. I do not have a food buff, to my knowledge. I am ill-prepared. Well, obviously I'm ill-prepared because I'm wearing a shield that doesn't let me proc Reckoning, so that's adorable. Yeah, but just taking your Reckoning charges and converting them into damage and letting your Spirit Regeneration do its thing is probably going to be better than Consecrating. I could be wrong. I mean, I am stuck using a rank 1 Consecration here, which is really balls. I want way more than just a few mobs. Alright, we'll give it a go. Come over here, pick up these guys. Okay, cool. We need to put down a Consecration, pick up some more guys. So we're picking up way more assholes than even I would suggest. Okay, get our Holy Shield up. Since we pulled so many guys, we're going to do some consecrating. It's a rank 1 consecration, so it literally does nothing. We're actually going to want to kill some motherfuckers as quickly as possible here. I'm still going to tab target over when they're low life, because I've kind of learned my lesson. Tab. Okay, cool. My tab. My... Yeah, so this is way more mobs than even Holy Shield can handle. So this kind of pack of mobs is the kind of thing that you want to deal with. You'd want to be using max rank consecrations for. But look how little my mana bar is going down. Like, look how crazy that is. Yeah, we're fine. Yeah, we'll leave it there. Okay, so we're going to stop consecrating, and we're going to let our Spirit Regeneration do its damn job. I need to reseal here. I can turn on templates. But I mean, what are we going to learn from that exactly? Oh, am I not hitting anything? I feel like I'm not hitting anything. Actually, we're going to have to drink anyways, so let's just keep consecrating. These guys should be almost dead. Like, Jesus. Oh, you know what I should have done? I should have done Holy Wrath while that was bubbled there. Oh, well, whatever. Really need my Naga, honestly. Ooh, you're still alive? What the hell? Where the hell did you come from? And Perry's cute. Well, he's dead now. Power of Reckoning compels you. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 mobs in however much time. So would have been much better if I wasn't using rank 1 consecration. We would have murked those guys pretty quickly. So that's what it looks like when you're doing big mob pulls, right? But let me show you what it looks like when you're doing small mob pulls. When you're doing the more ideal number of mobs, like aka 4-ish mobs, maybe 5-ish mobs with Holy Shield. We're good. Fuck you. Wrong spell. Okay. So I'm going to want to make sure my mana bar is completely topped up. So my goal in the pull is I pull a pack of mobs and I kill them, and then I pull a pack of mobs and I kill them, and I want as little downtime as possible. Since we're not using Consecration to do a ton of damage, what we're doing is we're tab targeting, and we're letting our Spirit Regeneration do its job, and we're letting the Reckoning do its job, and we're spreading out the damage with the auto attack tab target. Somewhere between 4 to 5 mobs is going to be probably ideal. Again, it would be much fucking better if I had a shield where the blocking would actually proc Reckoning. Did I DC again? This looks like a DC. Yeah, it looks like a DC. Fuck you. The servers are just terrible. What shield would I consider using for leveling in TBC? Unironically, I would consider using the Argent Defender shield. You get from the quest. So if I go to gear and I go back, I go up to like level 60 and I click here and I go Argent, the Mighty Argent Defender shield. Probably never going to have block value issues with this thing whatsoever. No stats on it. It says, has a 1% chance when struck in combat of increasing your block rating by 250 for 10 seconds. That's block chance, not block value. This thing will allow you to do big-ass mob pulls super comfortably. You'll proc Reckoning like all over the place. It is a crust reward. Do not fuck it up. I don't think I ever did that quest in Classic World of Warcraft, so I'm going to be making sure to get that. This shield has way too much block value, obviously. And so what you're seeing on screen, even though very impressive, is nowhere near the level of impressive that it should be. I want to try to get like 5-ish undead dickheads here. Obviously, you're going to want to fight mobs that don't run away. Mobs running away is really bad. That's why we're fighting ghosts here. It's not because they're undead. It's because we want 5 mobs that just aren't going to run from us. Put down the consecration to pull them. We're going to seal up, and we're going to stand our ground right here. So we're going to let the tab targeting and reckoning do its damn job. So we do the holy shield. Fuck, I keep pressing consecration. My bad. Let's take it off our bars. I'm just going to put it up here. So I can't even do that accidentally. Let's get one more mob in here, since we are kind of screwing this up a little bit. Re-shield. Okay, that guy's almost dead. Jesus. One more hit, and I think we tab. Yeah, one more hit and tab. I can turn on templates if you want. Ooh. Yeah, that guy. Oof. Yeah, so they're all almost about dead. So Holy Shield alone is just gonna kill. Oh, I don't even have my ret aura on. Jesus. There we go. What am I doing? Oh, sorry, I turned it off because I wanted to showcase some stuff. I wanted to play test some stuff. Right. Okay. So you see, we killed all the mobs, but look how thick our mana bar is. So I literally just get to like re-heal up, right? Easy peasy lemon squeezy. There's like 7 dead mobs at our feet, 6. I think it's closer to 7, honestly. I think we got like +1 dickhead in there somewhere. And we're literally just going to do it again. All right, let's do it again. Again, so much better if I had a proper shield. Oh, well, whatever. What can you do? Okay, cool. Let's get 5 mobs here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Do 1 oh, wait, we don't have a consecration. I need to do 1 consecration to keep them in combat. Make sure my thing is active. We are attacking, and away we go. Okay, 1 more hit, and I think we tab. Yeah, tab. Okay, tab, reseal. Yeah. So I am full retarding this a little bit in the sense that I'm basically using Holy Shield on cooldown, but as you can see, it just doesn't matter. It just literally doesn't matter here. All right, cool, and dead. All right, sweet. Noticeably better kill time. We took a lot less damage there, mostly due to the ret aura being active, I imagine. But you can see just how mana efficient we are with this. We're not really using consecration for anything. And because of that, we're just not having any downtime. It's going to be really hard for you in Classic WoW to pull more than 5 mobs at a time. 4 mobs is going to be kind of what you're going to be able to handle, like whether you like it or not. I need to put that back up. Where the hell is my seal? There we go. Oh, we're not even attacking anything. Jesus. Okay, cool. What am I trying to say here? We just need this guy to die. He just literally needs to die. All right, sweet. It's going to be really hard for you to pull more than 4 mobs at once. And Holy Shield is just basically doesn't give a shit about 4 mobs. So right now we got 4 mobs on us. You're going to see that Holy Shield is just literally going to just not care. And Holy Shield in effect is consecration, if you really think about it. I could burn through my mana to kill these mobs faster, but then I have to eat and drink, and it's just a terrible idea. At least I think it's a terrible idea. Tab over, Holy Shield. Where the hell's my seal? There we go. Bada bink, bada bink. Again, all these blocks you're seeing are chances of Reckoning to proc. That is just not happening because your boy has too much block value. Alright, dead. We're going to loot the mobs first before we heal ourselves for maximizing spirit regeneration. Alright, cool. And then we'll heal back to full. Probably 2 Holy Lights to heal to full, unless one wants to crit. And you can see just how far we're going without having to drink. It's up to you. If you can do a really big mob pull and burn them down with Consecration and using Bubble and all that stuff, it's totally worth it. But just rounding up a pack of 4 mobs, 5 mobs, and using Holy Shield. We have no healing in combat on this character. If I was getting punched in the dick by 10 mobs, I need to heal myself. I couldn't because of all the spell pushback. We are just super fucking comfy. And we'd be doing so much better if all these blocks could proc Reckoning. And that's basically the end of the video there. I got nothing else to really say about Paladin leveling. I think doing the Judgment of Wisdom and the Judgment of Light thing is completely unnecessary. There's going to be certain levels where you're going to want to do it, obviously. Where you don't have Holy Shield, you're going to want to be judging Light. I mean, judging Wisdom and double Judgment of Wisdom and then using Consecration to burn everything down. But once you get Holy Shield, small pack pulls and just tab targeting with Seal of Righteousness, Seal of Command. It's going to be a while before you get Seal of Command with the build. You're going to be level 50 something before you get Seal of Command. But I'm really digging the Seal of Command in the grand scheme of things. Alright, well, anyways, video's already long as hell. I'm going to end it here. Day is full.